the college football playoff quarterfinals, and we're going to look ahead with a game we like to call Reading Between the Lines as we welcome in Paul Finebaum and Greg McElroy. Let's see where we want to begin. Paul, we'll start with you. Ohio State, a 9.5-point favorite over Miami at DraftKings Sportsbook. It'll be the first time Miami is at least a 7-point dog in over 2 years. In a somewhat surprising spread, we've got other ones to look at as well, but I want to stay here for a minute. How do the Canes spring the upset in this matchup like we just saw them do at Texas A&M?
Yeah, Joe, they need to play a similar defensive game because they completely shut down a very explosive team in the Aggies, and they'll face an even better team in Ohio State. They also need some help. Ohio State hasn't played in a while since the Big Ten championship game, and the Canes are really going to need some help from Ohio State playing sloppy. I don't expect it to happen. They didn't play a great game against Indiana, but they made some special teams mistakes. But I like the momentum coming from Miami going into this game.
On the other side, McElroy, Ryan Day, not Brian Hartline, is going to be calling the plays for the Buckeyes. Why does that have you flummoxed?
Well, I mean, can Brian Hartline really not handle dual responsibilities, being the head coach at USF and calling plays? We've seen people do it for a decade and change and route to national championships, and he can't manage it. And don't get me wrong, the 10-point performance in the Big Ten championship against Indiana was disappointing, especially the red zone play calling, the use of heavy personnel, taking your best playmakers and Jeremiah Smith and Cardinal Tate off the field. And Ryan Day now basically, does he not trust Brian Hartline anymore? Now he wants to kind of get back to his aggressive roots. He was the OC for 5 years. He's been around for quite a long time. And last year after the loss, they kind of put the accelerator down, and that's when they started to get a little bit better. So I think it's kind of fascinating, interesting, but I expect a very aggressive approach from Ohio State in this matchup.
All right, let's pivot. Elsewhere, we're going to have Alabama as a sizable dog in a matchup against Indiana, who's coming in red hot. This is going to be in the Rose Bowl. Indiana laying somewhere around 6.5, 7. It's been fluctuating back and forth. As my resident quarterback, what version of Ty Simpson needs to show up for Alabama to knock off the 1 seed?
Well, I know Saturday will appreciate this. A well-protected version of Ty Simpson needs to show up. Now, that's not entirely on him, because I look at the offensive line, and when he isn't pressured, he's elite. Over 70% completion, a ridiculous 21-2 touchdown-interception ratio. But if you breathe on him, if the pressure starts to erupt, he completes just 47%. That's a pretty significant drop. He's been battle-tested this year, and he's had great moments, and he has responded very well against adversity. But this Indiana defensive line, the interior defensive line, is probably the most disruptive I've seen this year. Their two safeties are one of the best tandems in the sport. D'Angelo Pond's the ultimate competitor at corner. So they don't just react to you. They're going to line up, play man. They're going to attack you with the defensive line. So the O-line and the receivers better be ready to win their one-on-one matchups.
Would love to see these two engage in a shootout. That could be a lot of fun for everybody involved. Paul, what would a win mean for Kalen DeBoer? We've been talking about his future seemingly every day. This is a big matchup against the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, Joe, but it's Christmas, of course, so I don't want to go back to Friday night and show my texts on the air from all of Greg's friends and neighbors and former teammates who were about to put Kalen DeBoer on a plane and send him to Ann Arbor. But that didn't happen, and what that meant is that now he's very popular. A win against Indiana in the Rose Bowl, and Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer will own the city of Tuscaloosa.
All right, elsewhere, Oregon coming off a big win, but not cover for anyone who was paying attention to that game against James Madison. This is in the Orange Bowl. The Ducks are a 1.5-point favorite. Note that, a 1.5-point favorite over Texas Tech, who is coming off a bye week. Paul, Texas Tech, should they be disrespected here? Should they be feeling disrespected?
I think they are feeling disrespected. I mean, they have the highest payroll in college football. They should be proud of that, of course. But they went through a schedule that they really didn't accomplish a great deal other than get to the playoffs. They beat BYU, a top 10 team, a couple of times. They have a couple of nice wins, but I think that's why the public is not respecting them like some of the other teams who played a far more aggressive and well-respected schedule.
Greg, any reason to have doubts about Oregon quarterback Dante Moore?
You know, it's funny. I went back, Joe, and watched the 8 interceptions he's thrown this year, including the 2 he threw last week against James Madison. And there are some lapses in judgment. I think we often forget this is a young quarterback. This is a guy that's just playing his third year in college football. He'll throw it into traffic a little bit. And when you look at Texas Tech, they are plus 17 in the turnover margin. That's number 1 in college football. They are elite along the defensive line in flustering the opposing quarterback. They have an edge defender that's got 13 and a half sacks in David Bailey. If they can harass Dante Moore, they can force his hand and maybe slow down this offense just a little bit. But if he's on, look out. It could be a long day for the Tech defense.
Gentlemen, tremendous stuff as always. Thank you for getting up with us.
Man, it's a great opportunity. It's a great feeling. I always had coach behind me a little bit, but to have head coach is always a great opportunity.
Now, for people who aren't familiar, your dad is a legendary coach here in Cleveland, in Ohio. What was his reaction when you gave him a call and said, Dad, I'm a head coach?
Well, it was a great reaction. You know, it was one, I didn't let him know offhand. You know, I kind of did this behind closed doors for everybody, and I wanted to come out like it did. But us talking and going through things, I mean, we've been having dialogues for all our life. You know, I played quarterback for him. You know, I went to the Ohio State. He was there every step of the way, and then in the league. So we always have, you know, dialogues. I've been a part of the championship runs, you know, here at my high school that we did over a couple of years. So he was excited, ready to go, you know, and just happy for me.
You know, it's funny, you said you played quarterback for him. So I went to John Marshall. You obviously, know that being from the Cleveland Public Schools. I'm a little older than you, right? So I came back, and my dad was telling me, hey, there's this kid at Glenville. Everybody says he's like the best player in the world. You got to check him out. My sister was still at Marshall. We go. Ted, I saw you throw for a touchdown, run for a touchdown, return a punt for a touchdown, return a kickoff for a touchdown, and you had a pick six. How many times did you do that in high school? Because I'm sure that wasn't the only time.
I did that on multiple occasions, especially my senior year. You know, just going out, man, and taking the team for Storm. And, you know, with me being at home with my old man and knowing the playbook from in and out, you know, I was able to put myself in a lot of different positions to be able to succeed. And it's kind of like what I'm doing right now. I just got to put myself around a lot of good people so I'll be able to succeed in this game of football.
Ted Ginn Jr. It feels strange for both me and Emmett to say head coach Ted Ginn Jr., but it sounds good. Of the Columbus Aviators is our guest. Coach, why was the UFL the right opportunity for you at this time?
I think it was the right opportunity because, you know, I wanted to start my journey, you know, and going through all the, you know, different backgrounds that you had to go through. UFL just came right on in and gave me an opportunity. They didn't care about, you know, what I knew or didn't know. You know, they knew that I played the game. I come from a coaching background, and why not give him an opportunity and put the best people around him in the state of Ohio and let him go out, you know, and continue to do the things that he do to make him be who I am. And it's going to be a blessing, you know, and I'm very excited. And I just got a lot of people I can go back to and, you know, do it the right way from either my father, Jim Tressel, Coach Hazel. You know, y'all said something about Sean Payton earlier. You know, just having all them different gems in my background, I think it was one of the best opportunities for me.
Ted, when you were at Ohio State, you were one of the biggest playmakers in college football, especially at the receiver position. What do you think of Tate and Jeremiah Smith currently at Ohio State?
Oh, man, that's one of the top two tandems, or, you know, the number one tandem in the game right now. Pro athletes. I was able to watch them all last year. You know, came to practice every Thursday. I sat with them guys in meeting rooms. They're true pros. So to see how they bounce back this year, having a little bit more on them. Both of them are number ones. You know, we see it day in and day out. You know, and I'm just happy that they having the success that they having. You know, and they just keep putting up and keep making people shut up.
Coach, what do you make of the current playoff system, and how do you think your seasons at Ohio State would have been different if it had been in place then?
I don't think it would have been different. I think we was, part of the top crews every year. I just think it give you the opportunity to play them other divisions, them other conferences that you really don't play but once, sometimes in a bowl game. But to go out and end your career with the bangers that these kids are going through now with, having a bye, playing Miami, playing Georgia, playing the Alabamas, where, we had to talk about that type stuff in my time. But now it's just an opportunity to showcase who you are and showcase who your school are and just be able to fight every day.
Emmett, he played for his dad. He played for Jim Tressel. He played for Sean Payton. He played for Ron Rivera. He played for some epically great coaches. And now he gets to be one. Ted Ginn Jr. of the Columbus Aviators. Appreciate you spending some time with us on Unsportsmanlike this morning. It's always good to get a bunch of Clevelanders together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I seen how y'all brought the show on. I was like, hey, is that Cleveland? Does that look like Cleveland?
It's Christmas week when they give us opportunities like this, Ted. So
absolutely,
it's good stuff.
I
Appreciate you. Good to see you. Thank you.
Coming on in.
Yeah. Facts. No doubt. That's Ted Ginn Jr. Emmett, always good to see him.
Yeah.
All-time epically great college player.
Man.
Emmett, 14-year NFL career.
Yeah.
To make it in the hardest league in the world for 14 seasons is a heck of an accomplishment.
Yeah, you don't do that by mistake. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that by guys doing favors for you. You do that because you earn it. And when I tell you, one of the fastest human beings I've ever seen wearing a pair of football cleats,
yes,
it was Ted, Aaron.
Yeah.
This game, it was like 45-0 after the first quarter.
Right.
It was.
Wait, so you're telling me he threw for a touchdown, he ran for a touchdown, he caught a touchdown.
Yes.
He had a pick six, he had a kick return and a punt return?
Yes. Just boom. Every time
that's
he touched,
6 different kinds of touchdowns.
Every time he touched the ball,
it was a
he
touchdown.
Scored. Yes, it was insane. And I was like, yeah, I'm so glad that guy's going to Ohio State.
But is that as impressive as Evan Cohen throwing 8 interceptions in one game? That's the real question.
Ooh, wow.
I would say,
you know what? It's not as impressive because Ted didn't play the whole game, and I can't believe Evan did.
Yeah. That's what's amazing to me is that after 7 interceptions, that Evan was still throwing. Like the positive thing is that the players on the other team at some point had to get intimidated by Ted.
After 4.
Yeah.
Right? After 4 interceptions. Shame on his coach.
Calling a pass play.
Yeah, shame on his coach. After 4 interceptions, you put that guy out there and had him throwing the ball still. Shame on you,
We already talked to Ted Ginn Jr., high school legend Evan Cohen, that of 8 interceptions.
Different side of the spectrum.
Will join us coming up at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Up next, Emmett, Ted Ginn was really fast running toward the end zone.
Yeah.
Pat Costello's really fast running towards the microphone. I'm over it is coming on Unsportsmanlike. I'm Aaron Goldhammer. He's Emmett Golden. We're in for Evan